Michael here today with another video. Listen, I want to say shout out to Russell Wilson. For one thing, getting out of Seattle, okay, or willing to be traded to Chicago. So that's before we begin. Shout out to Russell Wilson. All right, now that I got that out of the way, I thought that this was not going to happen because there was a slim part of me that think this was not going to happen. Like out of the chances of us getting a quarterback, it would probably be the draft, but or we would get Sam Darnold. I thought that would be like a realistic prediction of the Bears getting either Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew or trading up in the draft. That would be a realistic prediction, but I didn't predict, we get to start quarterback Russell Wilson. A realistic prediction would have been like we would get like Darnold, we would get like Gardner Minshew, maybe Mariota. Like I thought it would be like a realistic prediction, but I like how this is heading. Russell Wilson wants to come to Chicago. Half the city's recruiting is gonna, be doing this all recruitment because you know, they want Russell Wilson on their team because Chicago has never had a star quarterback because they never had a star quarterback before ever since Jay Cutler. So, okay, so at the end of the day, man, what you have to understand about Russell Wilson is this. He's a very good quarterback. Okay, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I have his jersey, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get his Bears jersey if he gets traded to the Bears. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks, and you know I think he'll have a better career on the Bears than he did in Seattle. But I don't think it will be like a Super Bowl because he has to prove that he's worthy of Chicago. He already said he likes the offensive line. He already likes Matt Nagy. So I think the Bears have to get their deal done sooner than later because, Russell Wilson is the only chance of beating, because he beat Aaron Rodgers before. And he's like the second best quarterback in that division if the Bears trade for him. He owns the Vikings, and don't even get me started on. And he owns Jared Goff. He had Jared Goff's number before. When the division was on the line, Russell Wilson beat Jared Goff. And he always had Jared Goff's number. Even throughout Seattle. Even throughout his bad teams. Here's what you have to understand about Russell Wilson. He always had a good offense, but he didn't have a good offensive line. He also didn't have a good defense either. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson is known for having a great touchdown and interception ratio, and he's great against the pressure. And he's known for making, trash look into gold. You know, he was throwing to nobodies before they got DK Metcalf and Taylor, what was his name? Taylor Lockett or whatever. They and plus he was a beast with Jimmy Graham. Didn't Jimmy Graham lead the league in red zone touchdowns when Jimmy Graham was on the Seahawks that year? So, I'll love Russell. I'll love this move if it happened, but if it were to happen, we would have to give up a lot of shit to get Russell Wilson. So who are you willing to trade? My only question is, who are we willing to trade for Russell Wilson in return? Because it's hard to say who's going to win the trade. Because we could get Russell Wilson and still lose the trade. So who are we giving up for Russell Wilson? Because he wants to play for Chicago. It's hard. You can't dance around it at this point. It's hard to trade him to a different team when he doesn't want to play for the team. He wants to play in Chicago. You know, he loves the city. Him and Sierra was on Instagram talking about how good the city Chicago is, and they were chanting "Bear Down." You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. What happens? I mean, I already said a realistic prediction would have been like, trading to get Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew, but this is probably the move where the Bears have to. It's do or die at this point because we get Deshaun Watson, which I doubt. I doubt it's going to happen. We need to pray that the Seahawks situation gets worse because there's some rumors that the situation is getting worse between Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. We just gotta pray it gets worse because here's what I understand: Deshaun Watson's most likely is gonna get traded. Okay, no, enough said. I think we've already. I don't need to establish if I think Deshaun Watson will get traded. Yes, he will get traded, but I don't think he's going to come to the Bears. I think he's going to go to a team like the 49ers or the Panthers or the Jets or the Patriots. I just think he's not going to come to the Bears. I think we would just have to So the trade with Deshaun Watson will most likely happen, but he won't come to Chicago. Russell Wilson will be unlikely, but he wants to come to Chicago. So if you're a Bears fan, you're like, keep doing your terrible work, Seahawks, because the more you disrespect this man right now, the more he's our prize, the more he's our savior. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. Nothing's guaranteed until we see what Russell Wilson can do in Chicago. I mean, as of right now, as what my current eyeball is seeing, because I see the future, unlike some of y'all. You'll never see the future because I'm always time traveling. As of right now, it's looking like we're going to have Russell Wilson. Alright? It's dope. Alright. That's it, that's all. Subscribe. As always, my name is Michael, and I approve this message.